guys! So today I'm going to be doing a Kindle tour. This was requested by one of my subscribers, so I thought, why not give it a go? So let's get started. I'm going to go in alphabetical order. I do have quite a lot of books on my Kindle to get through, so this might be a little bit long, but let's try and keep it as short as possible. So, the first book that I have is The Rivers of London. This is by Ben Aronovich. I have read this book. It is the first in a series and it is quite a good book. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, I think, and it's a good book. It's about a detective and he's sort of a paranormal detective. So if you just feel like bored and you want something to read, this is a good one. The next one I have is Before They Are Hanged by Joe Abercrombie. This is a sample. I haven't actually bought the book yet because I haven't started reading the sample, and I always sample books before I read them unless I've heard a lot about them and I really want to read them. So this one should be good because I just read the Joe Abercrombie The Blade Itself and I really enjoyed that. So yeah, hopefully this will be good as well, and I probably will end up buying the whole thing. So the next one is Joe Abercrombie's The Blade Itself. I've done a review of this on my channel and I just read this, I really enjoyed it and I highly recommend it, and I'm looking forward to the next one in the series. I love the way that all of his books seem to have a sort of uniformity to them with the covers. I think it's really cool when authors do that, so I really like that. The next one I have is also by Joe Abercrombie. This is The Heroes. This is in a different series and I haven't started reading it yet, but I am excited to start it, so I will see how it goes and I will obviously review it. Then I have Seer's Hope, which is book 1 in the Seer trilogy, which I haven't actually started reading. I think this book was really cheap on a daily deal, so that's why I got it. It's by Marie Anderson. Then I have a sample of Lexicon by Max Barry, which I don't know anything about. I just have a sample of it. I can't even remember why I have so many books on here, but yeah, it looks interesting, it looks different, so maybe I'll get around to reading that sample and possibly downloading that book soon. Then I have a copy of Dark Eden by Chris Beckett. This was actually something that I saw on Mercy's Bookish Musings with Mercedes, and she actually read this and really enjoyed it, so I thought I would pick it up as well. It's quite a short book. I don't really know anything other than that about it, so I'll just have to see how it goes when I get to it. Next I have White Cat by Holly Black. This I haven't read, but I am excited to read because I've heard that it's really good. Then I have Thursdays in the Park by Hilary Boyd. This is a contemporary read about 2 elderly people and their sort of romance. I don't usually read contemporary. I wanted to try something and this was highly recommended on the Kindle, so I gave it a go. It was alright, but it wasn't really my thing. It was okay. It was nothing more. I'm just not into contemporary. I haven't found a good contemporary yet. So if you know any, let me know because I would like to try it. Everyone seems to love it. I haven't found anything that really captures my attention yet. Next I have The Painted Man by Peter V. Brett. This one for some reason will not display the cover whole screen properly, so just got to show you a close-up. But this is the first one in the Painted Man series, which I have loved and I am highly recommending to anyone who loves fantasy. This one is The Desert Spear, which is the second one in that same series by Peter V. Brett. Again, it's not showing up full screen on my Kindle for some reason. The covers are really beautiful. I have actually bought the first one again in paperback because I love it so much, and I intend to get the next 2 and the ones after when they come out as well. This one actually does show up on my Kindle full screen. This is the 3rd one in the series, and you can actually get a feel for the cover on this one. I don't know why the other 2 are not showing up. It's really annoying. And then this one I have just reviewed on my channel. This is The Great Bazaar and Brian's Gold by Peter V. Brett. I really enjoyed these and I highly recommend them if you like the series. This is The Selection by Kira Cass. This is what I am currently reading. I'm up to chapter 3 at the moment, and this seems like a really fun sort of alternate royalty bachelorette kind of world, and it seems really interesting, so I'm excited about this one. It's going well at the moment. Hopefully I can get it done fairly quickly. Then I have The Soul Keepers, Book 1, which is by G.P. Ching. Again, this one I got on a daily deal and I don't know anything about it, but it was cheap and it was a fantasy, so I thought, why not pick it up? Then I have A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I wanted to read a classic and I really like Dickens's Great Expectations. I studied it in school and I really enjoyed it, so this I think will be fun when I get round to it. I'm really, really bad at reading classics. I need to get into some more because I honestly have read barely anything and I want to get around to this sometime. I'm gonna try. Then I have Carney Punk Parlor Tricks, which is by Jennifer Estep, and this is actually a novella from the Elemental Assassin series, which I don't really know anything about, but it just sounded cool and it was free, so I downloaded it. Then I have Escorts and Thieves, which is by Tina Folsom, again another one I downloaded because it was cheap, and this is apparently a contemporary romance. I don't really know anything about it, but I am willing to give it a go, so that's that. So this is Unnatural Creatures, which is by Neil Gaiman. This is a collection of stories from him and other authors, I believe, or maybe it's just other authors that he has collected together. And this is meant to be really good. I've seen some reviews on this and people all seem to think it's good, and I really like Neil Gaiman's work because I read The Ocean at the End of the Lane and really enjoyed it. So hopefully I will really enjoy these as well. Next I have Water. This is book 1 of the Akasha series. Don't really know anything about them, but I'm intrigued by them because the cover is beautiful and they all have really similar covers which are really gorgeous. And apparently it's a contemporary eco-fantasy story, whatever that means. So sounds peculiar, sounds interesting, sounds a bit different, and the cover is beautiful. Then I have The Heresy Within, which is by Rob J. Hayes. This is book 1 of the Ties Within series. I don't know that much about it. I don't seem to know much about most of the books on here, it seems. I tend to just read the description or hear a review and love the sound of it, so I add it or I download it and then I forget about it because I've got so many books. But I will get round to them, and this one is a fantasy book, so it should be something I enjoy for sure. Then I have The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I've been told this series is really good as a fantasy series, so I do want to get onto this as soon as possible and see what it's like. I love fantasy, it's my ultimate genre, so I really want to get onto this. I know that Hobb is meant to be really good. Then I have Oblivion, which is by Anthony Horowitz. This is in the Power of Five series. I read the first ones and I loved them. This one I just haven't been able to get into yet. I started it and then something else distracted me and I just got very few pages done and haven't gone back to it since. So I will get round to this, I will review it, I need to get back to it soon. Then I have The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. This I have read. I didn't really like it that much. It was good, but I found it a bit repetitive and I just didn't enjoy it that much. As I say, like, contemporary reading and modern reading is just really not my thing, it seems. I don't know, I enjoyed it to a point, but it wasn't capturing my attention that much. So next I've got The Legends of Regia Forbidden Forest Book 1 by Tanaya Jane. Again, this is one of those books that I just picked up because it was in a deal and I don't really know anything about it. It's fantasy. This is The Circle of Sorceress by Brian Kitterell. This is a fantasy book. It is a Mages of Bloodmere novel. I hope it's book 1, I don't know. Again, don't know much about it. This is The Book of Deacon by Joseph R. Lallo. I don't know much about this one either, but I like the cover. I think it's quite simple, which I really like because a lot of fantasy ones are overcomplicated, I think. This one I'm really excited about. This is The Prince of Thorns by Mark Lawrence. I have heard really good things about this and I keep seeing it on all the shops, so it must be good. and it looks really cool, and I know that a lot of people really like this series, so I really want to get started on this soon. This is The Giver by Lois Lowry. This is book 1 in the Giver Quartet. This I really enjoyed. I thought it was really fun. It's quite a short book, but I thought it was really good. It was interesting and the concept was really cool. And I'm looking forward to getting the next ones in that series, even though they don't follow the same characters, I've heard. But I'm interested in the world, so that doesn't matter. This is Legend by Marie Lu. I have read this book. I enjoyed it quite a lot. I am looking forward to reading the next one in this series because the third one has just come out as well, and it should be good. This is a fantasy book set in an alternate kind of world, and everyone that I have watched reviews of this series later on says that it's really good, so yeah. So this one is called Prodigy. This is the second book in the Legend trilogy, and this is by Mary Lou as well. Again, I am really excited to get onto this. The books are supposed to be getting better as they go, so hopefully this will be really interesting and fun. This is The Lies of Locke Lamora. I have done a review of this on my channel because I just recently finished this. I loved it, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I cannot wait to get on to the next one. So the next one is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, and this one is the first one in a trilogy. I really enjoyed it. It really has a good main character. She's really intriguing and really exciting because she's not sort of the norm. She's quite a gritty character, and she's got a lot of backstory that slowly gets revealed in this book and in the next one, and I really enjoyed this. This is Crown of Midnight, which is the next one in that same series by Sarah J. Maas. Then I have Graveminder by Melissa Ma. I've heard that this is supposed to be really good, and this is an adult fantasy read, so I'm gonna just give this a go and see how it is. I really like the lettering. I think the typography is beautiful, and the brambles around the edge just make it so beautiful. The next one I have is Life of Pi by Jan Martel. This one I know quite a lot about because I've actually seen the film already, which I did enjoy a lot, and I think when I do get round to reading it, hopefully it will be more explanatory than the film, which is understandable but not as easy to follow as I imagine that the book would be, and as comprehensive as I imagine that the book will be, so I think that this will be a good read. Next I have A Dance with Dragons by George R.R. Martin, Part 1 and 2 on my Kindle. I only have these ones on my Kindle because I bought the £25 hardback edition in Waterstones, and it's beautiful. It looks the same as this one but in hardback, and it's gorgeous, but it's really, really big, and I just couldn't enjoy reading it because it was so huge. It just looks so beautiful on my shelf though, so it's totally worth it. And I read all of the others as a book, so I just got these on here because they were cheap at the time, and I really enjoyed reading them on here because it was a lot easier than lugging around that giant copy. Then I have Pushing the Limits, which is a young contemporary. This is by Katie McGarry. This is the first book. There is a second one which has just been released. I enjoyed this, but again, contemporary, not my thing, so even though it was a good read, it wasn't for me, but I think it would be a good read if you do enjoy contemporary. I know a lot of people who do enjoy contemporary like this book from what I have seen. So I liked it, and I don't like contemporary, but you'd probably really enjoy it if you do. So the next book that I have is Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. And this is about a travelling circus who comes in the night and mystical things happen. I'm not entirely sure. I know it's supposed to be really good, and I've been looking forward to reading this for a long time, so hopefully I can get around to it soon. I always forget what I've got on my Kindle, so I do need to get around to this. I bought it ages ago. So this is The Knife of Never Letting Go, book 1 of the Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness. 5 out of 5 stars, loved it. I thought the series was so well written, and I really want to get his new book More Than This, which looks really cool as well. And this is The Ask and the Answer, which is book 2 in the Chaos Walking series. And book 3, Monsters of Men, in the same series. Really loved all of them. Then I have Unwind by Neil Schusterman. This is meant to be really good. I know that because some of my friends have recommended it to me, and some of the people I watch on YouTube have said that it's really good, so I'm excited to get onto this, hopefully this month. Then I have Protector, which is Anniversary of the Veil Book 1 by Vanna Smith. This is a fantasy book that I got really cheap on a daily deal, so I don't know much about it as always, but I'm excited to get to it as everything. I love books, so I'm always excited to get to them and see what they hold inside. Then I have The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. This book I have no idea about. All I know it's kind of a split personality or something. This is obviously a classic, and I think I got this free because a lot of classics on the Kindle are actually free. And my mum told me that I should read this because she read it back when she was in school, so I thought I'd pick it up. I haven't got around to it yet. As I say, I'm really, really bad with classics. If anyone knows any that are fantasy classics, then I could read them. But the rest are a little bit out of my league. But this one sounds interesting, so I will probably read this someday. Who knows when. Then I have Branded, which is book 1 of the Fall of Angels series by Kiari Taylor. This one looks so beautiful. I don't know what it's about, but I love the cover. I think it's just so intricate, and it's so detailed and stunning. Then I have Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Lani Taylor. This one is the first one in her series, and I really loved it. I thought that the character was really cool, and I loved her blue hair and all sorts of things, and I thought the second one was even better, and I really enjoyed both. So this is Days of Blood and Starlight by Lani Taylor, which is the second one in that series. Then I have Empire in Black and Gold, which is by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is book 1 of the Shadows of the Apt series, so I know that this is meant to be good. I've heard a lot of good reviews on this one. Then I have The Suicide Shop by Jean Tulle, and it's basically about a shop where it's in a world that people come to a shop to buy methods of suicide. It's become so popular, and it's really witty and really humorous, and I really enjoyed it, and this was another recommendation by Mercedes. Then I have Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson. This is meant to be really interesting. 2 of my friends read it and said that they really enjoyed it, so I need to get onto this soon. I love the cover, even though it's quite a sort of stereotype cover. I think the eyes are beautiful, and I am just drawn to books that have eyes on them because they are just so stunning. The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. This is a classic again. I wanted to read something by H.G. Wells because the town where I grew up, Woking, is actually where H.G. Wells is from. And all my life I've been told about him, and I've seen War of the Worlds, which he wrote, and we've got like aliens in that town which are erected in his honour, but I haven't really read anything of his ever, so I thought I'd download one because it was free and give it a go. And I have War of the Worlds as well because I'm going to read that too. Then I have The Devil's Grin, which is by A. Wendberg, and this is a Kronberg thriller. So thriller is something I don't always read because they scare me, usually, but I do actually really enjoy reading them, and the feeling that I get from reading them is really exhilarating and fired up, so I do enjoy reading them every now and then. So I am going to be reading this soon, hopefully. And then finally I have 314 or 314, which is book 1 of the Widow's Field trilogy, and it's by A.R. Wise. Again, this is a book that I don't know that much about, but I need to get onto. So that is all of my books. I'm so sorry that this has been such a long haul. I didn't realise quite how many books I had and how many I really need to read because I forgot I had them. But this is pretty much everything I have on my Kindle, besides a few little children's books which I have for reading to my cousins. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was what you wanted to see. Sorry I couldn't be a bit more specific about what the books are actually involving. Most of them are fantasies because I love fantasy. If you have any recommendations of any classics or contemporaries that you think I would enjoy, because as I said before, I haven't found many yet, let me know in the comments section down below, because I really do want to try and get into these genres, even though I have tried before and it's not gone too well. Maybe I've just picked up the wrong stuff, but hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you guys soon with another video. Bye!